Greetings, whiskey folk, and welcome to the official Dram Association Unbottling of Cask 730 from Tallant Distillery. Although Tallant Distillery, despite having the word distillery in its name, is not yet a distillery and is actually an independent bottler of Bruichladdich. And if you want more information about what the hell that means, why you can only buy it in BC, and how we got some 14-year-old Bruichladdich, in fact, 4 14-year-old Bruichladdich and a 7-year-old available in BC. I think we've got them all right now at the Strath still. Check out my video where I interview Simon Farrington from Tallant. Probably the best interview video, just because it's so unexpected and interesting, and like Simon, and I mean this in a very good way, he wasn't prepared with like a corporate speech. Everything that he said was honest and from the heart and came from a place of just loving whiskey and he grew up on Islay. This is a treat. I'm surprised it's still available because I think it's mostly just that people in other provinces and around the world haven't found it. Like, if the amount of whiskey that got released from these guys got released in the UK, it would have sold out in 2 hours. And I mean that honestly. That is absolute God's truth. The fact that it's still available 2 years later here in BC, it just speaks to the fact that we have a very small population. And people haven't found this whiskey to be able to pilfer it away from us yet. So if you haven't tried this yet, haven't come across it yet, pick yourself up some Tallant. All 5 are phenomenal. Check out my video with Simon Farrington. And I'm going to revisit this one because I'm putting it in the Indy Showcase tasting. So it's 10% off again right now for all levels of membership. Here we go. This is the one and only peated expression from the first batch of Bruichladdich from Tallant, Port Charlotte. From what I understand, everything that they have maturing right now, they've got another batch that they are planning on releasing at some point. I hope still that's the plan. I need to reach out to Simon and find out. Is all peated, and I think it's a step up from Port Charlotte. I can't remember what they call it in-house, but there's like a halfway between Port Charlotte and Octomore kind of a thing that they do as well. But this is, classic Port Charlotte style bourbon, first fill bourbon cask for 14 years, and I forget now, but I'm fairly sure that Simon mentioned in the interview that yes, it says 14 on the label, but due to all of the labels were printed well before it was actually bottled, and due to all the delays, it actually ended up being like 15, maybe 16 years old. Oh yeah. So there's something about Bruichladdich which generally I find somewhat off-putting. And that's not always the case. Sometimes, depending what cask it's in, it either gets hidden or works really well with something. But peated Bruichladdich, it works really well for, because that note is like a sour lactic note, and we're among friends. It's often been described as baby vomit, which doesn't sound particularly appealing. But then again, neither does iodine, and we all love Lefroy. Well, not all of us, but most of us. And I find that on its own, generally, that doesn't work very well. With peat, it works really well, and with some wine casks, it works well. And sometimes it's just not there for some reason, and I'm confused about that. But that's the glorious thing about single cask whiskies like this one, is that they're all unique, they're all different, and I'm happy to say that I honestly found that with all the Tallants, it either wasn't there, or it was there but worked well with everything around it. So, yes, it's farmyardy, it's lactic, it's acidic, it's got a lot of interesting, strong flavours going on in this whiskey. But if you like PC10, Port Charlotte 10-year-old, you're going to love this. This is the Port Charlotte 10-year-old that you know and love at cask strength with a little bit more age, treated just wonderfully. Fantastic whiskey. Yeah, it's buttermilk. It's smoky buttermilk pancakes. Yeah, smoke and a pancake. What's that from? That's from Smoke and a Pancake. It's Goldmember, wasn't it? It's the third Austin Powers movie. Love it. Yeah, exactly as I remember. Big, unapologetically full-flavoured. Yeah. Again, if you want more information about this whiskey, check out my interview with Simon Farrington over at Tallant. And yeah, if you haven't picked this up yet, now's a great time. It is 10% off. Slanshava, I'll see you on the next one.